Today we're diving into one of the most powerful ideas in human history, the idea of a cosmic mountain, a kind of axis at the very center of the universe. This is the story of Mount Meru. Okay, picture this. A great flood has just erased the entire world. Everything's gone. It's just chaos. A shifting, formless landscape with no landmarks, no solid ground, nothing certain. What's the very first thing you think people would look for? Yup, a fixed point. Something that doesn't move, something solid, something up, above all that chaos. And you know what? That fundamental, primal need for a stable center, that's exactly where the story of Mount Meru gets started. So that gets us to this really basic human impulse, right? We just think vertically. Have you ever wondered why we automatically connect up with good things, with order, with the divine, and down with chaos, with collapse? Well, the answer is kind of baked into our DNA. The great scholar of religion, a guy named Mircea Eliade, actually gave this idea a name. He called it the axis mundi, which just means world axis. And it's this universal symbol you see everywhere. Sometimes it's a pillar or a giant tree, but most often it's a mountain. It's the thing that connects heaven, earth, and the underworld, kind of like the ultimate cosmic landmark. And where does this whole idea come from? It's literally just gravity. Think about it. Standing up, building something, climbing. That takes effort, right? But falling, crumbling, dying, that's just collapse. It's effortless. And what's amazing is that cultures all over the world took that simple physical fact and basically mapped it onto their entire universe. Okay, so this idea really blows up into this incredible cosmic structure in Hinduism. This is where that world axis gets its most famous name, Mount Meru. And we're not just talking about a mountain here. No. This is the pillar that is literally holding the entire universe together. And the scale of this vision is just mind-blowing. In texts like the Vishnu Purana, Meru is the absolute unquestionable center. You've got the gods, the devas, living at the very top. The heavens are all stacked up above it. The sun, the moon, the planets, they all revolve around it. Then, down below, you've got us, the human realms. And way down at the bottom, the demonic realms.
But here's the key thing to get. This wasn't meant to be a geography lesson, right? They weren't trying to draw a physical map of the world. What they were building was a map of meaning. It was a spiritual and moral blueprint for everything, where every single thing had its proper place, from the highest god to the lowest demon, all perfectly organized around this one central pillar.
So, what happens when another huge religion comes along and inherits this exact same map? Well, that's what happens with Buddhism. They take the blueprint for Mount Meru, but they completely flip its purpose on its head. Suddenly, the goal isn't to find your place inside the structure anymore. The goal is to escape it completely. So, in Buddhist cosmology, they call it Sumeru, but the layout is pretty much identical. You've still got the stacked heavens up top, the human world in the middle, and all the different hells down below. It's like the same cosmic apartment building, just with a different landlord. And this is where the huge difference really hits you. In Hinduism, climbing Mount Meru is the path to salvation. But in Buddhism, the entire structure, and I mean even the fanciest, highest heavens, is all just samsara. It's that endless, exhausting cycle of suffering and rebirth. Why? Because even life as a god is temporary. So for them, the goal isn't to get a nicer room in the cosmic hotel. The goal is to check out entirely and reach nirvana. Meru, this incredible structure, becomes a beautiful golden cage. Okay, so we've got this incredible, abstract, mythological idea. But we humans, we have this deep need to make our myths real, don't we? We need to anchor them to the physical world, to something we can actually touch and see. And that's exactly when this cosmic mountain comes crashing down to Earth. And it finds its physical anchor in the Himalayas, in a very real mountain, Mount Kailash. Get this. 4 different major religions look at this one peak and say, that's it. That is the physical embodiment of Mount Meru. A single mountain revered by millions of people as the literal center of the world. We're talking about Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, and the followers of the Bond religion. For all of them, this is sacred ground. In fact, Mount Kailash is so holy that it has never been climbed. You don't conquer it. Instead, pilgrims perform a kora, a sacred ritual walk around its base. They believe the mountain is this incredible source of life-giving energy, the place where all of Asia's great rivers begin. But what if you can't get to the Himalayas? Well, you do the next best thing. You build your own Mount Meru. And that's what the great temples of Asia are. They are not just buildings for worship. They are, in a very real sense, architectural models of the entire cosmos. They're like instruction manuals for the soul built in stone.
Just look at a place like Angkor Wat in Cambodia or Borobudur in Indonesia. The design is a literal, physical replica of the Meru cosmology. Those huge moats surrounding it, those are the cosmic oceans. The big towers in the middle, those are the peaks of Mount Meru. And as a pilgrim walking through it, your journey is a physical reenactment of a spiritual journey, climbing up towards enlightenment.
Okay, let's zoom out one last time, because this is where it gets really universal. This whole idea, this need for a central vertical axis, it's not just an Eastern thing, not at all. It turns out to be a profoundly human blueprint for how we make sense of the world.
I mean, just think about it. The ziggurats in Mesopotamia, the pyramids in Egypt and Central America. What about the world tree Yggdrasil for the Norse, or the totem poles of Native Americans in North America? Literally everywhere you look, you find cultures building their own version of this exact same idea. So what does all this show us? It shows that pretty much every culture feels this fundamental need to build a bridge between worlds. When everything feels chaotic and uncertain, we create a stable vertical landmark. A landmark that basically screams, here, this is the center. This is where order begins.
And that, right there, is the heart of what Mount Meru really is. It was never just a mountain on a map. It's an idea, a really powerful, enduring idea that our universe has a structure, that chaos has limits, that meaning has a center. Which kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on, doesn't it? In our own lives, when our personal worlds get shaken up, when we face our own floods and chaos, what is the mountain that we build? What's the fixed point we look to find our own center?